Welcome back, Flare community. I hope you're all well and having an incredible Thursday as always. We've got TRT in the house, we've got Valiant Energy, aka John D, we've got Doc Bob D in the house, Crypto Granny, Death Ranger, and Jimmy Thing 2. You guys know the deal. It's time for the weekly news update. And we're going to cover everything significant that's happening on the Songbird and the Flare network. So we're going to jump straight in, as we usually do here, by checking the Solidify website and looking at the various data providers and the top performers of this epoch so far. So topping the charts, we have EDP FTSO. In second place, we have Price Kraken. Third place, we have Alpha Oracle. Fourth place, Flare Beacon. And in fifth place, Flare Dienst. So pretty standard, to be honest. I see a lot of recognizable faces here from the signal providers. These guys are normally in the top 5. But as you can see, there are 2 of the top 5 that are oversubscribed with the limits, or I guess the threshold of 2.5% being exceeded here for EDP FTSO and also for Flare Dienst. And if we look at these 2 as well, Alpha Oracle and Flare Beacon, they're also pretty close as well. So something to take note there. If they are over-delegated, such as these 2, the additional vote power does not go towards accruing more FLR rewards. So you essentially dilute the value for all the holders if you were to join in an oversubscribed signal provider. Just a bit of a heads up there in case you may have forgotten. Over to Xhaven, which is the leading NFT platform over on the Songbird and Flare network. The top 5 this week, topping the charts, is the Focus Pass. In second place is the Blockbones collection. Third place, the Loyalists collection from Enosis. And in fourth place, we have Mutant Flare Ape Serum. And in fifth place, the Flare Apes themselves. So congratulations to all those who made it into the top 5. Just a little gentle reminder of this website here. It's called Flarepedia, and you get a lot of information about all of the projects that are building on the Flare network and a lot of other things as well. What's happening with governance and the Flare drops as well. This is what I wanted to remind you of, because if we do look over at the Flare drops, and I just quite like this interface. It gives you an idea of when the next one is, which happens to be tomorrow in just under 15 hours from the time of this live stream. But you can also check the dates of the previous Flare drops here, and also what we've got to look forward to. And we are approaching the halfway mark. Of course, there's 36 individual Flare drops, which means the halfway point is Flare drop 18. Oh, yeah, that's right. And we're currently on number 15. So next month is going to be the halfway point. Pretty interesting, actually. Actually, what am I on about? It's the halfway point is on the 18th Flare drop, so in August. So just bear that in mind. There is still a lot of FLR to be distributed, and I believe they end in 2026. January 2026. So again, we are still very early within this, and you know, I feel like Flare's been going sideways for quite some time. It seems like the selling pressure has subsided, and this is all coming to fruition as F Assets is being built. And of course, we have the slogan from Hugo himself: this year is the year that they are going to ship everything. One of the things that they will be shipping is F Assets, and we did actually get a news update from the Flare team themselves, and this is the requirements for the F Asset project to go live, or protocol to go live for public testing over on the Coston testnet. So these are the 5 conditions. We've got the real-time or real-life scenario simulations to be completed, the improvement of monitoring and the documentation. This has actually been confirmed recently, the XRP testnet sustainability. This was in regard to Hugo getting confirmation that the XRP testnet would not be reset, and that has happened. So we can forget about this one. The big one here is the implementation of FTSO v2, the Flare Time Series Oracle, the second version of that, which is quite an hefty update. And obviously they still need to finalize the UI, the user interface, but we are getting closer. Death Ranger in the chat, which is more, what do you get more, staking or delegating? It is still very much staking, but that is narrowing as as more people begin to stake. But staking does definitely get the better rewards these days. Yes, wow, quite the threshold. The Flare team have announced that 1 billion FLR has been burnt. Pretty crazy stuff. You can verify this on the Flare Explorer by looking at the dead address or the burn address, whatever you want to call it. And recently, this was, let me see, yesterday, another 66 million were burnt, and that brought the total up to just over 1 billion, a huge milestone. Their multi-year burn strengthens the community, increasing their share of the FLR in circulations, right? So if your share of the FLR in circulation is higher, you get to receive more of the flare drops. That's the nitty gritty. You can, of course, verify here and check out the wallet. In fact, let's have a quick peek at that. You can go to the dead address. Let me just see here. This is the dead address. It's called that because it's got a load of zeros, and at the end it says dead as well. You might not be able to see that. But if you click on that, here is what we have on the Flare Explorer. We've got over 1 billion over there and a lot of fractions as well. And of course, you've got all these crazy tokens that people have been burning as well. Some unintentionally and some part of the ecosystem design, various NFT projects and ERC20 tokens as well. But this is the main one that you want to be looking at. 1 billion FLR has arrived in this address, the dead address. This is some news from ACDT FTSO. It's a lot of letters with these signal providers. Anyways, they've introduced a new tool of the FTSO prices. You can have a quick peek at this here. Basically charting to see the historical data of various signal providers. And as you can see here, you can actually compare two signal providers and where the reward rate or the reward band is and how accurate they are in comparison to the others. So definitely worth checking out if you like geeking out over some statistics. This is what it looks like. You can dig a little bit deeper into the delegations, the rewards, and wallet data too. So if you do fancy checking that out, it's flare-base.io/flare. Moving on, we have this from DeFi Divi, who generates these statistics every month, I believe, and he does this for both the Flare network and also for the Songbird network. But the latest one is for the Flare network. This is the Flare network, a rich list, 20,000 new addresses since his last installment. And of course, these are just an idea to get, I guess, your gauge on where you are in the rankings, but I definitely wouldn't share this information with anyone. You know, it's never good to gloat about how much you have. You almost put a target on your back. A lot of these wallets at the very top here, you know, you can see these are probably distribution wallets and like escrows. And then some of these smaller ones will be the team and investors. And then a lot of people will be, you know, hanging around these bits. The majority of the holders are around this area too. So don't get disheartened. It's just a way to get an idea of where you are opposed to the other holders, and also an idea of the distribution. As you can see, there's 54% or 54.5% that only have between 0 and 1. And I imagine these will be, you know, maybe smart contract addresses or addresses. Actually, if you think about it, a lot of them will probably be holding WFLR. I'm not sure if that's included in this particular rich list, but that would make sense. So yeah, just something to note. We've got this from the Fleur network, and more specifically, Rain Lang. There is an ongoing competition with $12,000 up for grabs. Now, if you are a developer and you want to try a new language, you can have test your coding skills with this particular product. And what is Rain Lang? Well, Rain language is a way that you can write code or custom to, I guess, execute custom algorithms that leverages the Fleur time series oracle. So, you know, if we look at the dexes that we're all familiar with, the decentralized exchanges on the Fleur network, a lot of these are automated market makers, where you trade against a pool, right? So this is very much a different strategy where what happens is you're using what is called a club dex. And this is, well, I guess it's a lob dex, L-O-B, club standing for centralized limit order book. And that's what you would get when you go to Bitrue, when you go to Coinbase, when you go to Binance, whatever your centralized exchange of choices, you basically put in an order and say, I want to buy this asset at X price and I want to sell it at Y price. Well, this is exactly what Rain Lang allows you to do, but you do have to have some developer experience and able to write these strategies to deploy. If you are just testing things out, there are actually some great resources provided by the Rain protocol, the teams themselves. We just open this up here. This is actually quite a nice little walkthrough or an example of how you can execute your own or write your own strategies and then deploy them to the Fleur network to execute when a particular price is met, and the price is obviously determined by the Fleur time series oracle. So if you do want to get into that and have a shot at winning $12,000, be sure to follow at Rain Protocol because I believe the competition has just started. In fact, if we go here, maybe it's somewhere else, but they did start it, I believe, this week at some point. Let me just have a quick peek here just to confirm that. Scroll down a little bit. There we go. Well, it started this week. I'm pretty sure about that. Here we go. The competition opened on the May the 7th, which I believe was 2 days ago, and it closes on May the 28th, so towards the end of the month. Yeah, have at it. Let me know what you think, and good luck if you are testing it. Over on to NFT news. So the Blockbones project, something that I've been working on for a very long time now, and we listened to the community with the trait store, which was the old way that you would buy traits, and we introduced the trait crates. This is something very exciting where you buy the trait crates, and then in the near future, you reveal what is inside the trait crates. Of course, the traits being what are fused to the Blockbones NFT. So dynamic NFTs on Fleur, which will be paying FLR and Bones based on the rarity of what you create. So just to put this into context, this is what the trait crate store will look like. We have this countdown here. The mint does go live tomorrow in 18 hours and 32 minutes, sorry. But the previous store would look something like this, where you basically select the NFT. You can see a lot of the rarest NFTs have sold out, but you buy them with the cost being much higher depending on the reward rate. Even though, you know, some of these less rewarding NFTs actually look pretty good, we've sort of switched strategy based on the feedback. You go to the traits nav bar up here and click on the crates. This page is going to change when this countdown ends. And yeah, stay tuned. If you are a Patreon member, there is actually a discount for anyone that may want to purchase a trait crate. You get 100 FLR off and 100 Bones coin, and up to 25 on the first transaction. And that actually equates to somewhere around $90 off. So if you do want to become a Patreon member, or you do want to get on the whitelist, check out the link in the description. Reward time. Yes, this goes back to Death Ranger, which is more profitable, staking or delegating. Well, it is very much confirmed that staking is very much the better choice at the minute. But of course, as more people stake, the rewards for delegation increase too. But if you are looking to stake and switch over and take that plunge, then be sure to check out Xtoads. We've partnered with them with the Block Bones project, and they're offering the most comprehensive rewards package on the Flare network. Of course, Flare rewards are just standard. This is a fixed amount. There is various fees that each validator has, but in addition to these standard rewards, you get S-Ribbit airdrops, which is to be used in the upcoming Xtoads DApp, which I believe may be launching this month. You've got jackpot draws of 5 million S-Ribbits and various NFT raffles. There's going to be 24 Blockbones NFTs up for grabs over the course of the next 24 weeks, and also Xtoads NFTs. If you like Catchup or you like black boxes, then this is the place to be. So it's about giving back to the community and offering additional incentives that you won't normally find there with other validators that you can stake to. So that's Xtoads, and of course the funds that are raised do go towards bolstering and catalyzing the project's development and making them both more valuable. So, I always say support the builders, and this is definitely a good way to do that. If you want to delegate to Xtoads, you can just find any of the Xtoads validators here. Space is running pretty low. I think there's about 15 million FLR left. I think they're going to increase the amount that they self-stake once this one runs out in 4 days. So that could be a good opportunity to jump in. Just a bit of a heads up there. And yeah, moving on to other Flare Network NFT news. We've got Andreas saying that the last couple of weeks they've been very productive on the Focus team. They're working on multiple areas of the project simultaneously. Launching staking for their NFT Focus Pass is the top priority. So they're aiming to deliver that this month. So within 2-3 weeks. So if you are a holder, be on the lookout for that staking rewards incoming. This is some Songbird news, actually. So we got news that the Songbird network has now reached 1 million wallets, which is quite a significant milestone. If we go to the Songbird Explorer here, you can see that the wallet addresses is indeed over 1 million. And if you compare that to the Flare network, it's actually about half of that. In fact, let me just have a quick peek at how long it is, because I want to sort of see the adoption rate. So I'm typing one in the chat here to see when they launched. 3 years ago, September 16th, 2021. And if we go to the Flare network, July 2022. So I guess the adoption rate of the Flare network is actually less than Songbird, which is quite interesting. This is in terms of the amount of time that's passed, but it could be due to market sentiment during the time. But yeah, something to take note. And if you are looking at getting a little bit more granular with your information, you can check out flarescan.com. Now, I was looking at this earlier, and it seems like there is somewhat of a lag. This is the unique addresses. They've got Flare and Flare mainnet, and I'm assuming that this is actually the Songbird network, right? So if we look up here, you can see that the latest entry was the 7th of May, just a couple of days ago, but these wallet addresses are not adding up. So someone's out somewhere, someone may need to resync their information. But yeah, still, you can get a lot of information from here, which is quite useful. If you click on add various transactions, for example, give that a second. You can see there was a big tick up in transactions over in September of 2023, and this huge spike here. I imagine this is when was this? March. Could be meme season, I don't know. But it is what it is. You can check out all of the analytics over here on flare.scan. Another project that's recently launched and I believe still minting is the anonymous astronauts NFTs. AstroJax. It's a dynamic NFT project on Songbird, And if you do want to check out their website here, you can find it astrojacksSGB.netlify.app. I believe community legend Doc Bob D, who is in the chat, I believe, is behind this website. A lot of information to go through here, but if you do want to find it, you can read all about it over on this link here, astrojacksSGB.netlify.app. That pretty much wraps up this week's news. Of course, we're going to have a bit of a chat over in the Flare Community Discord. There is a link in the description if you fancy a good old chinwag. It's not going to be a super late one for me tonight. I do have some work, as I said before, with this block bones thing. I just got to cross or dot the I's and cross the T's in preparation for tomorrow's launch. Again, if you do want to join it, you can get discounts on the Patreon, which I believe there is another link in the description. And if you want to be ready in 17 hours or just under 18 hours, be sure to be on the blockbones.com website. That's blockbones with a Z or a Z. Perfect. Scroll right down to the bottom here and you can find us in the community stage. It's going to be starting in a couple of minutes. I hope to see you there, but if not, do have yourself a great weekend. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.